All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go from the Worldwide Technology Center. Indy Kirchner, Patrick Pieper on the front row, Jason McCall, Chris Walker on the second row. Tyler Ott, Brian Hewitt have the third row, Jacob Morgan and the rookie Trevor Asrenoth on the fourth row. Austin Ruskoff and Vern Spring round out your top 10. Justin Swafford starting in 11th next to Chad Johnson. Brian Ray starts in 13th. Richie Joplin will not grid. Oh, Richie, nothing but love, buddy. That is a 10-minute first race, and they will have a standing start once all the drivers are on the grid. Everybody on the grid, here we go. Barney stands ready, Indy at the front. Green flag is in the air there, down and away at the Worldwide Technology Center. With that stacked up start, Indy got a bit of a run into one, but Pieper already looking underneath for the lead. These two have been back and forth on the road courses all season long. But in the end, so far, Indy always comes out on top. Jacob Morgan being back in the field as we've got Hewitt off track and around. Vern Spring has gone off track. And Indy Kirchner leads them back onto the oval through NASCAR 3 and 4. He's got 0.6 of a second on Pieper at the moment as they come out of 4 down to the front straightaway. And Indy Kirchner leads lap 1. Let's take a look at some of these incidents. There's Brian Hewitt in the 19, just gets a little squirrely. Wow, just barely misses. Trevor goes for a spin. Just a moment later, Vern Spring a little bit back behind. On the power, the back end snaps loose on the power, but he gets back and saves it. And Brian Ray has had a problem. Looks like Ray is just having connection problems. Indy already opening up a big lead, 2.6 seconds over Patrick Pieper. Chris Walker now into third. And closing the gap on Pieper, Jason McCall in fourth, Trevor Asrenoth in fifth. The rookie really moving up through the field, but also on the march is Justin Swafford, who did not qualify, started in 11th up to 6th. Jacob Morgan in 7th. Austin Ruskoff currently in 8th. Tyler Ott in 9th. Vern Spring in 10th. Brian Ray. Oh! Austin is around. Big problem coming out onto the oval for Austin Ruskoff. There's Austin. He comes out and just gets loose, barely misses the tires. That had to have been very close. Looking down from the blimp to see just how close he got to that tire wall. Wow. It don't get no closer than that. Indy's lead has shrunk a little bit. He went off track a moment ago, has allowed Pieper to get within 2 seconds. Chris Walker was gaining ground on Patrick, but is starting to lose it. He is now 2.5 seconds back. McCall in 4th. Trevor in 5th. And remember, the finishing order here will set the starting order for the second race. As Brian Hewitt has lost more ground, but just reclaimed it as Brian Ray went off track. Still a battle on for 5th between Trevor Asrenoff and Justin Swafford. Swafford is quite a good road racer. These street stocks on a road course are a whole nother beast, though. He has been able to wheel it fairly well as Tyler Audis had a big problem behind. Oh, Jacob Morgan gets loose, straightens up. Ott was trying to get around, just couldn't. Got onto the nose, and he goes around. As Patrick Pieper is continuing to gain ground on the leader, Indy Kirchenbauer. Brian Ray has had a big problem and towed it to pit road. Ray was blinking quite a bit, which appears to have caused him significant problems, and he ends up in the wall. Indy's lead now less than 1 second. Patrick gaining ground, but is starting to blink just a little bit. Ryan, good luck, buddy. Ryan McDaniel, one of the drivers that will be competing this weekend in the 24 Hours of Daytona, along with the SMR team led by Austin Ruskoff. Whoa, Austin a little squirrely there. A lot of great teams will be taken to the track. We will be broadcasting the Conliff Esports team's effort as well. Indy continues to lead. Pieper still holds about 1 second back. Chris Walker in 3rd has gained no ground. McCall in 4th is gaining on him. Justin Swafford has taken 5th. That makes sense, Ryan. Vern Spring now 3 spots into 7th. A quiet move forward. Pieper continuing to inch closer and closer to Indy. With just a minute and a half, less than a minute and a half to go, will Pieper have enough time to close the gap and make the move? Justin Swafford, having taken 5th from Trevor, has now pulled a big gap on Trevor. Vern Spring is closing his gap on Trevor. However, not very much time left to close the 5-second gap. Let's ride along with Indy as he comes down, and we may see the white flag this time for race 1. Out of turn 4, there is Barney the flag man waving the white flag one more time around for Indy Kirchenbauer. Indy has had a really dominant season here in the road races and a very strong season on the ovals. This kid is definitely going to be tough to beat in anything he drives. Just a couple more turns, then out to the oval the final time. Into turns 3 and 4. And out of turn 4, Indy will pull off the win in race 1. Patrick Pieper coming home in second. Chris Walker in third. Not sure what's up with iRacing tonight and being uncooperative with the screens as the rest of the field completes their final lap. Jason McCall coming home in fourth. Justin Swafford managed to move up 6 spots into fifth. Trevor Asrenoth comes home 6th in his rookie outing. All right, here we go. Race 2. Indy Kirchenbauer, Patrick Pieper on the front row. Chris Walker, Jason McCall on the second row. Justin Swafford and Trevor Asrenoth on the third row. Vern Spring and Austin Ruskoff on the fourth row. Tyler Ott and Jacob Morgan round out the top 10. Brian Hewitt starts in 11th next to Brian Ray in 12th. Chad Johnson did not take the grid, nor did Richie Joplin. Unlikely to see him here in race 2. Everybody stacked up on the start-finish line, getting ready. Once they're all gridded, Barney will wave the green flag for the standing start. And green flag is in the air. Oh, we've got one at a problem. Looks like it was Ruskoff. Ruskoff had a problem on green, went wide on power, likely in the wrong gear, but quickly recovers it as there's a battle on for second. Walker had a quick look on Indy Kirchenbauer, and Pieper takes the lead. Now remember, they will have to make a fuel stop during this race, so that pit strategy could be a huge factor. Pieper leads him back out onto the oval. Will he lead the first lap here? Out of turn 4, and it does look like Pieper will lead lap 1. How long will it last as Swafford is already up to 4th? Whoa! Trevor makes a move back to the inside into 1. Swafford gets loose. McCall slips by. Morgan now right up on Swafford's bumper as Swafford gets it back under control, but not after losing a couple of spots early. Meanwhile, Indy all over Patrick's bumper as they battle for the lead. Chris Walker still lurking right there with them in 3rd place. Jason McCall had a problem a moment ago. Jacob Morgan moved up into 5th, but Swafford's got the run underneath. Here comes Ruskov. Patrick Pieper continues to lead. Let's take a look at what happened to Jason a moment ago. There's Jason battle. Oh, looks like he had to check up, cut down just a little bit, and got into Swafford. Looking down from the blimp at this one, see a little bit of a checkup from Swafford, then the checkup from McCall that just sends him across Swafford's nose, and Morgan gets the run up top. Looks like there has been a big problem with Jacob Morgan. Jason McCall, Tyler Ott, and Austin Ruskov a moment ago. First taking a look, Jacob Morgan in the blue and white Hendrick car. Austin Ruskov right beside him. They go off into 1. Oh, Morgan cuts down and a big stack up. Take a look at this one from the blimp. Hey, good evening, David. Down into 1, and oh, Jacob just barely gets into Ruskov's nose. Everybody gets collected in the mess. Even Hewitt gets a piece of it. Everybody has recovered, is back at it. But that has given the leaders a lot of room to play with. Chris Walker was hanging with the leaders for quite a while, but has drifted back. Swafford, oh, hold on to her, Swafford. He saves it, but loses the position to Trevor. Azarnoff getting it done here tonight. Oh! Swafford is off the track. Tyler Ott goes by. Swafford has towed it to pit road. Looks like Swafford was slow out of 1. Oh, he just pulled off. Here was that battle just a moment before, and likely where this started. They both kind of drifted off into 1. Trevor saves it first. He sneaks by, and Swafford just pulls over. May have called it a night here. Meanwhile, the two at the front still nose to tail. Pieper in the lead. Indy in second. Indy has been the dominant force in these road races all season long, including winning the first race here tonight. Back behind, despite getting caught up in that incident earlier, Tyler Ott now up to fifth. The big mover, Brian Hewitt, up 5 spots into 6th. Jason McCall has slid back to 7th, but he is gaining ground on both Hewitt and Ott at the moment. Austin Ruskoff in 8th, Jacob Morgan in 9th. Both drivers losing ground after that early incident that collected half the field as McCall and Hewitt have had a problem. There is McCall as he crosses the start-finish line. Hewitt just ahead. Oh, Hewitt checked up more than McCall expected. Ruskoff has to go through the grass. Ruskoff picks up a couple of spots on this one. And Ott has had a problem. Tyler was on the move, but you see just how little grip these cars have on a road course. They are sliding everywhere and they just never settle. He gets loose, goes around, quickly recovers it. Pieper continues to lead as we approach the halfway point. Indy still lurking right on his bumper. Now Indy looks down low into 1. Oh, Pieper gets loose. Indy backs out to stay out of him. Pieper saves it, but Indy still manages to slip by. And Pieper goes off into the grass. Man, Pieper had one heck of a wild ride trying to hold on to the lead. That has also brought Chris Walker back into the fight. Let's take another look at that one. Looking down from the blimp, you see Indy peaks there. Pieper just gets loose. Indy wisely backing out of it, but Pieper can't get her fully gathered up. Indy able to slip back by and reclaim the lead. Pieper is on pit road for his stop. And Vern Spring, who's quietly been moving his way forward, has had a problem back behind. Vern coming through the infield. Just got a little too much of the curb as he was trying to bring her up to speed to get out on the oval. He goes around, quickly recovers, and Trevor Azranoff has had a problem. Trevor coming toward turn 1. Turn 1 has bit a lot of drivers tonight. He just barely clips the grass with that right rear. Gets it going again, but it did cost him a lot of time. Indy Kirchenbauer still has not completed his stop yet. Patrick Pieper is back out on track. Trevor Asronoff, Tyler Ott, now Austin Ruskoff all in. Brian Hewitt also on pit road. Pieper moves back up into third, hoping he can make up some ground here. Chris Walker in second is now headed in, as is Indy. Jacob Morgan has had something go horribly wrong. He's facing the wrong way. See if we can see what happened with Jacob here. Oh, he completely missed his entry into turn one. Got out onto the oval and turned it around. Looks like he didn't even get the right part of the road course. Indy Kirchenbauer on his way out as Pieper comes around. Indy Kirchenbauer got out first though and maintains a 3.5 second lead for the moment. The big winner though, Chris Miller in third. Or I'm sorry, Chris Walker in third. Walker now about 0.8 of a second behind Pieper. If they start battling, Indy will extend that 3-second lead even further, as for the moment Pieper is closing. Trevor Asronoff has had a great run here tonight, up into fourth. Tyler Ott, despite multiple problems, currently running in fifth. McCod has been caught up in multiple incidents, not of his doing. Currently running in sixth place, trying to gain some ground. Vern Spring currently in seventh. Austin Ruskoff in eighth. Brian Hewitt in ninth. Jacob Morgan ended up towing to pit road. Hopefully we'll see him back out, but Swafford officially out of the race. Don't forget, folks, right after this race, they will remove the barriers from the oval. They'll bust out their oval cars and go at it again here at the Worldwide Technology Center. Patrick Pieper still in second, but Walker now about a half second behind. I think Pieper's about to have his handful as Ruskoff has had a problem and slipped back into ninth. There's Ruskoff just a couple of turns in. It runs right up to Vern's back bumper, has to tap the brake, and just sends the car spinning around. David, how are you doing tonight, buddy? Indy's lead now 4 seconds. Last season, this was one of the first road courses the league went to. They definitely put on one heck of a show here. It'll be very fun to see how this turns out, but what's going to be even more fun is next week. Next week we go to Road America for the road course, and then we go back dirt racing, rallycross style, as we take them to Crandon. I am so excited. That is the race I have been most excited for this season. Crandon's such a fun track. Vern Spring has had a problem. There's Vern, sends it off into turn 1. Oh, on the power, just a little too much, shoots wide into the grass. Takes a while to get it back up there, and in the meantime, Hewitt slips by. Trevor Azranoff had a problem just a moment ago as well. There's Trevor, heads off toward turn 1 once again. On the, a hard hit. On the brakes, the back end steps out, smacks the crap out of the tire wall, ends up losing his front bumper. Ouch, somebody check on Trevor. Indy Kirchenbauer now into lap traffic. Have a great night, Richie. Indy likely to see the white flag this time. As he comes through 3 and 4, Tyler Ott has had a problem, and the white flag flies one more time around for Indy Kirchenbauer. See what happened with Tyler Ott as he comes off into turn 1. Just on the brakes, back and steps out. Couldn't get it gathered up. Finally gets rolling again. Whoa, Indy gets a little squirrely on the final lap. And Indy heads out onto the back stretch into NASCAR 3 and 4 one final time. Riding along in the chopper as he comes through 3 and 4. Sticks the back end out just a little bit and pulls it off again. Indy Kirchenbauer wins at the Gateway Road Course. Patrick Pieper, comes home in second, and Walker finishes in third. Okay, does not look like we have Walker available, so let's see if we can get a word with Patrick Pieper. Patrick, you had the lead for a good long while, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm just starting to have a little bit of issues with braking after like 15, 20 minutes or so. I just have a little knee pain and ankle pain. So that first corner is pretty tricky. So ran a little bit wide there on exit and let Indy slip by. But it was fun battling with him, though. The first 8 or 9 laps or whatever it was a lot of fun. He's definitely a lot quicker. There really isn't a whole lot of places to pass on this track.
Well, man, you guys put on a heck of a show. It was one great battle, man. Congratulations.
All right, thanks, Doug.
And let's get a word with the winner once again, Indy Kirchenbauer. Indy, it's becoming a habit you winning these road races.
Yeah, that was a fun race.
You guys definitely had quite a battle in the first half of this. A lot of close calls and a lot of close racing between you and Patrick.
Yeah, that was a really close race. He was always beating me on that corner coming onto the oval, and I could always gain on him on the corner coming into the oval, and it was a fun race. And then he got really loose that one time. I was scared that we were both going to go into the fence, but it's really fun.
Well, you could tell you did it perfectly. You hit the brakes, let him regain the car, and he just never got control of it for quite a while, and you were able to slip by, and once you were past, it was all over.
Yeah, I was able to do a good pit strategy where I stayed out 2 laps extra than him, and I was able to take less fuel because of that. And I think that really helped me. That's why he was only like a half a second off me, and then once I came out of the pits, I was like 4 seconds. So I think that's where really the race was won.
Well, man, and definitely a great run tonight. Congratulations, another win.
Yeah, first race back with 2 arms.
Well, you're even faster with 2 arms, man. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Indy Kirchenbauer pulls off the win, folks. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be back in just a few moments. They are moving the barriers. They're going to be on the oval